So variable declaration, variable declaration. Variable what? Declaration. To declare variable, call the name of the variable first. So what I'm explaining, yes, I'm interpreting this now because here I've already declared the variable. For this example, you are going to copy. To declare a variable in JavaScript, start with what? The name of the variable, followed by the assignment operator. Followed by the what? The assignment operator. Followed by what? The assignment what? Operator. Which is this equals to. Write it there like that. In the bracket, you put what? Equals to. Then followed by the name, followed by the value of the variable. Followed by the value of the variable. Followed by the value of the variable. Followed by the what? The value. Now, EG. Now, copy the whole of this. EG. Copy the whole of this. Where I analyze it now. Oh, yeah. This is an example of what? Variable what? Declaration. So, I will now do the rest on the screen now. Once we have copied that, which is the last part. Now, remember how we started, so I want to delete all this so that, because then I was just doing it just for us to understand one or two things. Now, once you have created, remember that what? You call in your project folder. Please stay on the screen. So round up now. You call in your folder here, which you have already done now. Then after that, I'm going to work with external what? JavaScript, not internal. Because if you are working with external JavaScript, it's better, even from the concept of what? External what? CSS. So that you can have your code what? Separated. Now, it means that I will create a new file. Let me just call it index. Sorry. Let me just call it index dot what? What will now be the file extension now? JS. Don't go and write JavaScript in full. Where you get to? Eh? Okay. You will know why when you come back on Friday. You tell us why. The experience will tell you why. So, please, every program have their standard word extension. Imagine you now write hypertext markup language instead of just what? .html. It will work because that is not what is saved in the library. So Java is what? JS. If you now get to React now, it will now be what? JSS. You have JSX. Now that what? Extension of what? JavaScript. So now, here, remember, we have to go back to our HTML file and do what? And do the linking. So let me delete it. Let's assume that this is not here. So how do we connect this JavaScript file so that when we are writing those JavaScripts here, they will be reacting on the HTML here, because that is the aim. JavaScript is not written for itself. It's written on HTML content to do something, right? So you must have a way of connecting them. So now I told you that you come to just before the word, the closing body. Then you call what? Scripts with what? Search or source. Because we are referencing what? An external what? JavaScript what? File. So with this, I have connected them. Now pay attention. Stay on the screen. Even if you have graduated from the class before coming, stay on the screen. Let's learn again. So now, I want to declare this variable. But I should put it in the kind of expression. What am I really asked to do? Because JavaScript is for building apps in your website pages. So it's an app. So let's assume that I want to build an app that we calculate, that will do some arithmetic calculation for me. This is a student now, secondary school student, that is given mathematics what? Assignment. That now want to use the manual calculator just because he wants to multiply 50 by 70 divided by what? 2 and get the result. He does not have calculator, but is a programmer. While other students have their scientific what? Calculator they will press, this person will go to this app and solve all the challenges here. Let's assume now, put it in writing so that you know how I can put it on you the day I will give you assignment, or the assignment I'm going to give you today now. So what is the task given to us? Write it. Task. Using JavaScript, develop a calculator for solving arithmetic what? Challenges or problem. For solving arithmetic what? Problem. Easy. Build an app that can multiply 100 by 60 and display the result to the users. Write what I'm saying now. Build an app that can multiply what? 100 by 50 and display the result to user. So the user will not see 100. The user will not see what? 50. What will they see? The results. But what I am going to do to the user so that they will have an idea of, because it is not professional for them to just get to the application interface, that's what the user interface, and see what? The result of what? 100 times what? 50. Without any form of description. So I am going to complement the result by saying what? If you multiply 100 by 50, the result is what? So that I will not just display just like the one I did the other time. I say, well, my name is. So I can say what? Display only Prosper. But they will not be asking how about what? The Prosper. But that expression that I added helped them to understand, oh, this person is telling us his name. That his name is what? Prosper. But I'm not going to store that expression in a variable. Now, let's solve that task. To solve that task, in the next class, I'll be talking about what? JavaScript what? Return functions. I'm going to use one now today. But if you come in the next class, I will expatiate, I will take it as a topic so that you know why I'm using this one. So the first thing I will do, let me clear this. Because of the return method I want to use, that return method says that if you must use me, there must be an HTML element with an ID. That is the condition for using that function called what? JavaScript what? Display method. So because of that, I will say, okay, to fulfill all righteousness, P. Pay attention. P. ID. I will say what? Probe. ID. Probe. Now, I will now go to my JavaScript. I will now declare the variables. I need two variables to answer that question. Because the question says what? 60. Store what? Sorry, multiply 100 by what? 50. And display the result to what? Users. Meaning that in the program, I must store 100 somewhere in a variable. And I must also store what? 50 in another variable before the arithmetic can take place. So the first thing, there are 3 keywords in JavaScript you can use to store what? Sorry, you can use to declare variable, to initiate variable. And they all have their own peculiarity. Why am I going to use constant? Which means what? I will just say what? Costs. So each time I'm using costs. So this cost is what? Is JavaScript what? Keyword for declaring what? Variable. I can remove this now and say what? var. In the place of that cost. var is another word, JavaScript word, keyword for doing what? Declaring what? Variable. I can remove this now and say what? Let is another word. Now, when you say variable, it means that what? It can change as I continue coding. But if I say constant is fixed, the value cannot change. So you should know at which point you should use what? Cost and what? var or let. So if I'm declaring by saying what? Cost, then I am simply that what? This value is fixed. Now I will space to call the name of what? So this one is just like to accompany it for JavaScript to sit as container. Cost, remember the question. I will say what? Num1 is equal to what? 100. I did not quote it. Do you know why? Because the rule I just gave you now. When you are storing number in a variable, single quotation or double is not what? Required. JavaScript. Now, because I have already done cost number, I can just say what? Num2. Num2 without repeating that word cost again. JavaScript will still decode it. If you like, say cost num2. But professional, you know what? There is no need. Once you have introduced the first one, just continue. I can say what? Num2 equals to what? 50, right? 50, then now I will now display it in JavaScript. If I go back to my HTML now and right click and run it, it's not going to display any results. It's not HTML that does not need any method to display what? The content. Scene is what? The only HTML in that file. The JavaScript num1, num2, they are not showing. You see, this principle is what makes it hard. And people that do not know how to obey laws, they are the ones that always have issue with programming language most time. I find that people that when you tell them do this, they don't like doing it. They don't always have that because they don't like keeping to what? Rules. But if you follow the rules of every programming language, the program will be sweet. Now, I want to display the results here. The user have no reason of seeing the 100 and the what? The 50. What they will see is what? The result. That is what the tag says, right? Now, I will now go back to what? My code. I will now begin to look for, there are 4 JavaScript what? Return what? Value. Return functions. Or let's say display method. In other words, these are inbuilt functions that are used to display the results of your code. The reason why we are not, because well, we have not called any of them. If I say alerts now, for example, now look at this here. If I come to JavaScript now, I say, okay, I wanted to see only 100. I will just say what? Alert. Pay attention. Alerts. These alerts that you are using when you receive money is the type of programming language. That's what they have already programmed that when any amount drop inside your accounts, there should be a message, alert message. So JavaScript is there working, but you don't know. You should just send a message to you that what? Money, debit or what? Credit. Now alert was alert what? Num 1. Then also what? End it. Now if you come back here now, look at it, it says that what? Let me click now and refresh again. Can you see 100 now? This one comes as a pop-up. But I want the result. This one, once I click OK, it will go. But that is the reason why I don't want to use that method. So the method I want to use now is the method that will still display it on my page, not just displaying it. So now, and that method says if I want to use that method, then I must reference what? One of the HTML elements with an ID. That's the reason why I created what? That HTML element. And I assign what? ID what? True. So now, I will now use that method in the next class you that because this will be our main topic in the next class. Documents dot get elements by, that is what, how, this is what we call JavaScript what? DOM. How do you select element? Select element by what? ID. So I will, and remember the rules. The name of that ID is what? Pros. That pros, is it numbered data type or string? That is why I'm doing what? If I just call it here and it won't work. So I'll put what? Pro. Now, if you go back to your HTML, you will discover that there is no content. You did not pass any content. What this HTML element should what? Display. Meaning that from JavaScript, you are sending the content to it. Yes. Because this method has a storage called inner HTML. So in the next class, I'm going to simplify each of it. So, and that storage is called what? Inner what? HTML. Wow. Then equals to, you are not storing the value now. Now equals to, I don't need to do what? To quote the value. The value I am storing in this method has already been stored in two variables. So I will not call the variables. I was okay, num what? Num1 times, remember the question, we multiply it, right? Times what? Num what? Num2.
Num1 is not.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. Num what? 1. Now remember. Okay, yeah, okay, sorry. Remember we said that it will not be good for them to just see what? The value without knowing what led to it. So I want to accompany it with an expression, a description. So before I call this, I will not call my quotation. Before I call this, but I will concatenate that expression with plus. Then I'll put my expression inside what? Because this is not stored anywhere in the program. So I'm just passing it in, and that is why I'm what? So which is what? The what? The result of what? Multiplying what? 100, Abi? 100 by what? 50 is, now if I display this now, it's going to display as if the is and the result, they are together. There will not be space. So I will not concatenate empty space. So you will not come here, you will now do what? Plus empty space. And then you come inside. Just like this. Meaning that what? There will be space before what? It display what? The result of these two values we are multiplying. Now let's go to the page now. You see it now. 5,000.
There is no still space there.
Yes, there's no C space because we did not inside this quotation, we are supposed to do something like this. So if I go back now, there will be that space. Yeah? Eh? Okay.
What if you don't add the definition of the case?
Everything will be together now.
No, like you go and give the space after the case for the last
I like practical. Don't worry, you might just. So let's remove this. Let's remove this. Abi?
Yes.
You all do like this, Abi? So did you understand it now?
Yes.
So this will bring us to the end of today's class. So if you are asked what and what you have learned today, 1, introduction to what? JavaScript. As we are living here now, you know that JavaScript is what? The main what? Web language, or the front end what? Language that is used for creating what? Interactivity, right? That gives life to what? Your HTML content. Then 2, you have also learned that what? For every programming language, there are data type. There are kinds of what? Data to speak it, right? And then we divide them into what? 2 what? Categories. The primitive and what? The composite. Then you have also learned how to do what? You know what is called variable now? To be container that stores what? Data, and how to what? To declare variable. These 2 variables that I declare now, they are what? They are variables storing what? Numbers. Because we have done the one for what? Storing what? String before. That's why I switch. Okay.